Hello friends, welcome back. Today I'm going to go over the general setup of my Obsidian Vault. It's not particularly fancy, I don't think, but it's something. It works for me. And I've basically, as you can see, I've got a screenshot that I took of my file explorer, along with some little notes on what each folder does. And I'll just go through go down the list, talk about them, and then in the description box at the very top, there will be a link to a text sort of breakdown with screenshots and everything there, so you can easily see links to specific plugins if you want. I'm going to have links there. I'll have note templates and all that sort of stuff that I use that you can just copy and paste if you want to mess around with them. Anything like that. I hope I'll have everything there in one big chunky list of stuff for you to sift through. If there's anything that looks interesting to you that you might want to play around with. I use the custom sort plugin to order my file explorer, and I also use the Iconize plugin that lets me just put cute little emojis and icons next to folders and notes that I want. I mostly do this just on the top level here to give me like some more my eyeballs some more help to just get to where I'm going really quick. First one at the very top with the little house, we've got the day today, which is just a note that is kind of like a master sort of note type thing. It's got all the tasks in my vault that have a due date on them. I'll kind of go into how I do tasks, as I get to the folders that, generally have them, which is pretty much mostly just the creative notes. I'll put tasks in there. And anything that has a due date will pop up on this list. If I make a task and I don't have a due date, that means it's something that I know I have to do, but I'm not going to get to it yet. So I'll go through, and as I'm working on projects and stuff, I'll just, boom, put a little task in there for something that I know I'm going to have to do eventually. And so it's broken down into a couple different ways, different little sections. Do now, do today, do next, upcoming. So do now are things that are past due. So 6/2, 6/4, past due. Due today are notes, tasks that are specifically due on the day that I'm opening up this note right here. So 6/22, that's today. Due next. So this one has a due date of 6/28, but it is a high priority. And then this will kind of give me a clearer view of if I'm going to start working on any of that before it's actually due. I've got the high priority ones that will get a little bit more of attention from me. Then we've got the Workbench, which I think is empty right now. But the Workbench is a special note that's managed by the Workbench plugin. And it's a super simple plugin. All it does really is it gives you a set of hotkeys and command palette stuff that you can use to basically take parts of notes that you're looking at and just move them to the end of the Workbench note automatically without you having to have that note open and doing any copy and paste stuff. Super simple, super, I think super useful just to have that here. It's nice because if I'm in the middle of like writing a script for one of the serious type videos like this that I'm doing, it's an easy way for me to just go back and go, okay, this is what I was doing last, right? Just look at the Workbench. That's what I was doing last. I can, pick up where I left off pretty easily. Next, we've got the inbox, which is kind of neat. So if we look at the day today, I'm a big Chris Morris fan. We've got all the tasks here. And then we also have this up here. Current inbox notes, 10. If we take a look, we've got all the tasks calls, and this is a specific tasks plugin that manages that. And then we've got a call out here, that's got some data view stuff. And the data view stuff is going to take the folder inbox, take the amount of notes in there and subtract 1 because I use a folder note in there. So there's always going to be that one folder note that's named inbox. And just give me the count of what that is. And then up here you can see in the front matter Obsidian UI mode, Obsidian editing mode. So this will this is also a plugin that will let you use these front matter keys to set a default view mode. So anytime I open it up, it's going to be whatever is set up here. So you can have notes that are always in the read view when you open them, like folder notes. I don't really need to, once they're set up, I don't really need to edit them much. And it's kind of a nicer experience when you've got these kind of static notes that you're always going to have in that the reading view, for example. And so yeah, the data view, and then we've got the link to the inbox note right there. So if I click that, it'll open up the inbox folder note. We can see inbox. And it just says notes to process, and it's just got a whole bunch of notes here. And so these are created with the Android program Drafts. The text name in the Google App Store, the Google Play Store, I don't think it's on iOS. I think it's Android only, but you might be able to find something similar, certainly. Is drafting, notes, comma, markdown. And then the little icon itself just says draft on it. So this is an app that it was recommended generally on the Obsidian forums, and I gave it a try. It was $5 or $6, and it's super, super cool. Basically, the main reason I like it is because you can set up how it's going to name the notes. So I just have it do date and time that the draft is created. And you set a time limit, 5, 10, 15, 30 minutes. But what it does is whenever you hit the draft icon on your phone, it's just going to make a new draft. And it'll save it in whatever folder you want it to save. So I just have it saved in the inbox folder on my phone, and then I have the first-party Obsidian sync that takes care of the rest. So I'm at work, I think of something, or something happens, I want to make a note or something about my day. I go to my phone, I hit draft, it pops up with a brand new draft. I type and I close, go about my day. Next time I hit it, boom. If it's been outside of that time limit, so if I set it for 10 minutes and it's been 10 minutes since I last opened the app, it's going to have a brand new fresh draft with the new timestamp as the title. And I just type away. And then some of these are, over a month old now, so I certainly have to go through and figure that out. But I just sit down periodically and I go through them and I do whatever I gotta do. In a lot of cases, that'll be moving thoughts over to a daily note, or if I've saved like a video link or something, then I'll watch it or do whatever I gotta do with that. And it's the easiest way to have that kind of that mobile capture, for me at least. There are some downsides that are gonna be there on any sort of mobile solution like this, just because of the way Obsidian works. At some point during the day, I have to open up the Obsidian mobile app so that it does the syncing. Super, super minor stuff. And then generally when I go back, like if later on in the day I want to add more to a specific draft instead of a separate draft, I'll usually open that up in the mobile Obsidian anyway and do whatever edits there. Calendar, that's just a folder that has all my daily notes in there. I don't currently make use of the weekly and monthly, even though I want to. Minimum, I want to have them, do some automated stuff. I just haven't really got around to it, and it's not really pressing for me. I don't use the daily notes every day. Big work on a project, I'll kind of catalog what I'm doing there and then link it to a project note. And then, something weird happens at work, I make note of it, stuff like that. To-dos, stuff that I want to remember to do. But it's not like I don't sit down and like recap my day at night or anything like that. It's just not. I don't do a lot of important stuff. Like, let's just be real. I don't got to do that. Um, Journal notes. These are personal notes about my life. So, um, I might, I'll have a note about like past jobs, about note about my current job, where I kind of go through my thoughts on what's happening there, and like if those changes I like to make note of it. Changes I don't like, I'll make note of it. Anything like that. I might have like a note that's got a list of big purchases I plan on making down the line, or whatever like that. Any notes, financial notes, whatever. That will also be if I write my thoughts on like a TV show or something like that, that would go in there. And I'll do that a lot. And sometimes, depending on what I'm watching, I might take screenshots and put them in there. If I like a shot in a movie or like the color palette of a scene or something, I might put screenshots and stuff in there, and have notes about the movies and shows I watch, maybe video games that I play, even depending. Creative notes. Creative notes are, I do use custom sort on that folder. And I've got I've got like a project archive folder. I've got a folder for big ongoing projects, like a folder for YouTube stuff, and a folder for, you know, another big project. And then I'll have a note that's like, a tree of like social media things that I have, or like websites and stuff that I own, and all that. And all of that stuff will be at the bottom. And then the stuff at the top of the thing will be anything else, which will be folders for whatever projects I'm currently working on. Currently writing a book, got a folder in there, and that's got a whole bunch of stuff. I do use a template for folder notes within the creative stuff here, which I'll show you later. It's the same that I use in the technical notes. It's almost identical. So I'll show you that when I get there. And yeah, once I'm done with the project, I move it from the folder, the main folder, boom, into the project archive. And then, yeah, that's it. Sometimes a project is one note. Sometimes it's a folder with a bunch of notes. Just on depends on the scope of the project. It's that simple. Whatever is needed for the project, that's how it is. When I create a new note in here also, that's not a folder note, I do have a template that runs that's just with like the basic templater, where you can select in specific templates for specific folders. And all it does is it brings up a prompt that lets me title the note, and then renames the note based on what I typed in, along with the timestamp. And that's just because I write a lot of, there'll be a lot of notes that'll just be titled outline or draft, or it's just super easy and convenient for me to have that timestamp at the end of those notes, that I do it. Technical notes and customized help files and personal setup info. So, for example, if I'm going through DaVinci Resolve, I get a little hiccup in there. I figure out how to fix the hiccup. I document what happened, how I fixed it. In the future, if I come across that same hiccup and I remember, oh, this has happened before. What did I do last time? I've got it documented down. I might also keep links to like good resources, like YouTube channels that cover, the piece of software that I'm working with. I might also have personalized stuff. So I've got a JVC camcorder, and I've been recording stuff to, uh, VHS tapes, VHS-C tapes. And then I've got pictures of the connections that I use to hook it up to my computer so I can record the tapes off of there onto my computer. This is especially useful just for any case where there's wiring that you might not have hooked up all the time. But as you can see here, like this camcorder, the cables are different colors than modern cables are, and so just a little bit convenient for me in case I forget how to do something. And then we've got the template that I use that basically just has a few colored callouts. And these are just because of the theme I'm using. These are like specific callouts for this theme. But obviously you can do whatever. There's a lot of ways to make custom callouts, so you can do it however you want. And so Pico 8's just got a little description up here. It's got a list of resources and then license information. If I just open that up, it'll show like the username and stuff that I purchased the software with. If I have any notes in this directory that have a task in them, it'll pop up here. And the directory right here is just all of the notes in this folder, in this Pico 8 folder. And that's just courtesy of the Waypoint plugin, which I talked about previously. And so if one of these had a task in it, like I want to learn how to make games in Pico 8, once I actually get started on that process, this will have a lot more notes and there will be tasks in here, definitely. Yeah, and so the creative notes, pretty much the same thing, right? I've got colored callouts at the top for consistent information, a task call that pulls all the tasks from the notes within that directory, and then the directory itself. And like I said, there's going to be specific, like actual templates you can just copy and paste, so you can see how this is done. Research notes. Research notes are thoughts on topics outside of myself. So not personal journal notes, not creative stuff I'm working on, and not documentation of the technical things that I deal with throughout my day. So let's say I'm reading some stuff on near-death experiences, which I do read it. I like weird stuff like this. Got a little call out here that's got a little general one-sentence overview. I've got the Library of Congress subject headings here, and then I've just got, the note, and the note is however it needs to be. No template other than this stuff. And then usually at the bottom, I'll put links to Readwise imports or whatever sources I kind of, pulled this stuff from. And then if we click this is actually more data view stuff. So it's going to put whatever the file name is right up here, and then it's going to take the excerpt front matter key and put that here. And so that front matter key is actually, this is actually the front matter key. So I can edit that and that'll change here automatically. And then same with this. This is a data view, inline data view that's pulling front matter keys from the note here. The Library of Congress subject heading stuff, I really like it. I'm not like a stickler for it. A lot of my notes don't have it. But I do like to sit down, I like to go through and categorize it, and I like to just I just find that fun. I find it interesting to go through and see, okay, well, what kind of category does this actually fall in? And looking at the subcategories and the different splits that they decide to do. It's fun. I just like it. I just get enjoyment out of it. So I do that. So that's all the white section. So like this is the white section at the top is like all the stuff that I type out and I like put stuff into, put effort into. Less stuff to talk about down here, but I'll do it. I mean, the stuff at the bottom I'm not going to talk about. The sort spec is the file that determines this order here. It's going to be in the document. You can see the exact sort spec that I use, and I use one file, just this guy, and that dictates what the file explorer order is, as well as the order of my creative notes. So you can see how I do the one file to organize the multiple folders. So like I just said, the first thing here is the subject headings. And so basically there is a script that you can run that will create this directory for you, files and markdown notes, that is representative of the Library of Congress subject headings categorization method, organizational method, whatever. And so these will have backlinks to whatever notes that are linked to them. Then we got the reference folder, which is Readwise imports and manual notes in some cases from like YouTube videos and stuff I watched. where I'm like taking notes and maybe doing screenshots and stuff. So I use MediaDB to create notes on different movies and TV shows and games I play. Um, it basically puts all of this into a template that I've set up, and this just pulls it all from oh, what am I trying to say? So it sets up all of this YAML data. There's tons of stuff that it pulls from all these online sources, and then so this is all just inline data view stuff. This is all just data view stuff, and as you can see here, you can have it do like different call outs depending on if you've watched it or not. So it's green with a little check mark, otherwise it would be red if I hadn't watched it. This is perhaps the worst horror trilogy to ever be created. I do not recommend it. So yeah, and so just to kind of that again, you can see I have a note where I wrote my thoughts on Hell House LLC 2, which is linked to here. And then people here, as you can see, I clearly did not edit the copy and paste for the people folder. The people folder is not the calendar folder. This was a mess up. The people folder has notes named after people in my life with aliases for nicknames or whatever. And basically, they, just like a lot of the stuff in here, it serves as just being a point where anytime they're mentioned in a daily note or in a journal note or creative note or whatever, it's going to be in the backlinks for that file for the note that's in the people one. So if I just want to think, okay, when was the last time I talked to this guy, or when did this dude send me the artwork for this thing, or blah blah blah, I go there, go to their name, and I just look and say very easily when the last time that we interacted was, most likely, or at least interacted in like a meaningful way that like I wanted to remember. And that'll just be links to daily notes or wherever, like I said. And then I'll put like a little bit of info in there depending on who it is. Like there's usually going to be a birthday, just because I want to remember that, obviously, and some other stuff. But it's pretty bare bones. It's pretty much just for aggregating the backlinks with the other stuff. And then the last subset of folders here, we have a folder titled Obsidian, one attachments, templates, and archives. So Obsidian has miscellaneous plugin files. So the linked data vocabulary plugin, which does the subject headings, that's got a bunch of JSON files it needs. Those are in there. Icons for Iconize and other stuff in there. Some scripts and stuff like that in there. The attachments folder is just anything that I paste in here, images, PDFs, whatever, gets tossed in there. Templates, template files, obviously. Some of them are going to be stuff that's used by plugins like MediaDB, for example. And that's it. It's like not that complicated, pretty simple. I pretty much hang around in these 4 spots. And so yeah, go click down below. You'll be able to see the theme that I'm using, which is Magic User still. A list of general plugins and stuff that I use. And then screenshots, and then more specific information about the different sections of the vault. And you can go through, you can copy and paste any template stuff that you want to mess around with. We got links to drafting app there you can take a look at. My daily note, which is like pretty super simple, but so yeah, go take a look. I hope it's something that can be kind of useful for you in some way, or at least interesting, if not useful. Useful is kind of a high bar to hit, but I'll definitely settle for interesting. That would be cool. And see you tomorrow. Probably not, right? I'll see you in a couple weeks, I guess. I'm busy.